Luca Milano. I am the head of the kids department of the Italian Public Service Television RAI. We are a public service broadcaster, and in the last years we launched two channels for kids, for children, Rai Yo-Yo for preschool and Rai Gulp for kids. And in the recent years, we have accompanied them with VOD services, a VOD platform, Rai Play Yo-Yo, and a global platform, Rai Play, where all the content for kids also are present. Globally speaking, we are looking for kids and family as a general broadcaster. We cater for everyone, but specifically in the kids department, we are looking for children also very young, because we have programs for 18-month kids that starts watching television because actually they do. And we have a few programs for the very infant ones. And then we arrive until 6-7 year old with our Rai Yo-Yo channel, which is the leading Italian children channel, with no advertising and with mostly animation. While for what regards the following age, which is more difficult, from 7, 8 until 12, 13, even 14 sometimes year old, we have our Gulp channel, which is made partly of animation and partly of live action. We have also magazines that we produce in-house, both for the very young children and for the kids. Of course, children do not watch only children channel. They watch also the generalist TV channel, and as a group we have kids watching a lot also our prime time drama series on Rai Uno that often has our family oriented approach. Now we have to say that as the market has changed, we still have in Italy 8 free TV channels. 6 of those are American, Turner, Discovery, and Viacom, and there are the 2 Rai channels. So something that we have to do is to keep a distinctive tone as public service television. That means also being able to speak of contemporary issues. We come after a period of pandemic. We have now the crisis of the war. We try to approach kids, of course, with a language dedicated to their age, but also speaking on what happening around. And that is something that the other channels that are based only on animation are not able to do. We are now, for instance, live shows that we didn't have a few years ago because we wanted to keep a direct relation with our public, like the mail of Rai Yo-Yo, in which there is a daily exchange among the children and our hosts in the program. We have a section now that is important on our platform of animation and series in Ukrainian, because we have in Italy some 100,000 refugees, and so 25,000 of those are kids that are in schools, and so we want to offer them cartoons in their language as a way of say welcome. You are now here, and that is not something that it is for all the public, but gives, however, the idea of being contemporary and speaking of today's world. So we are doing it mostly with in-house production. However, most of our offer is made of animation and kids drama, globally speaking. We have now giving also, well, I think that that sense of contemporary that you can find only on RAI is something that we feel the public is feeling, is understanding, and from families to kids, they want something with a special taste. That do not means being autarkic. We are open to the collaboration with independent producers in Italy and in Europe, and also we offer a variety of international products. For instance, we have still a collaboration with Disney, and probably we are one of the main free TV channels that still has more than a couple of hours of Disney content every day, which, however, is chosen and put in a way that is that sort of family-oriented approach that is coherent with the rest of our offer. Another thing that gives the idea that is distinctive is that we offer a great number of different titles, which sometimes is not the best, especially for preschool, for ratings, because of course when you have a property that works, you could keep it for a couple of hours, and the children would go and see and watch and watch and watch and watch. But we try to offer a variety of tastes, of languages, while our competitors are American groups that propose their own shows, but sometimes there are only 5, 6 shows all over the day that are proposed again and again. And for us, the schedule choices are a way of presenting ourselves. So sometimes that it is, of course, the moment of on demand, but also linear TV can be useful when you create a path and you can propose children to see something else after what they have just seen, and they would continue watching. Our different channels, we, for what regards preschool, which is still our main channel, and also the numbers of the audience rating still high, we are having a selection of international shows. For instance, we of course have on Rai Yo-Yo, Peppa Pig, Bing, recently Bluey, Paddington, Disney series. We have recently also the Smurfs that are going very well. Intertwined with the Italian productions, like 44 Cats, Topo Gigio. We have 2 Pinocchios recently, series like Truly Tales, or our projects like Nefertina, that is a series based in ancient Egypt. So a great melange of what we can have of best international productions and Italian shows in a unique offer. We also have the mostly are European because we have a quota to respect, and most of acquisition should be European content. But of course, there are now and then exceptions when we feel that shows are particularly important. We have a line of inclusion that has, for instance, the British Pablo, as well as in Italian products like the Mirror of Lorenzo, or another series that we are producing. For what regards kids, we have usually in the morning animation and the animation that are either great properties like Peter Pan or Heidi or so, or more active and adventure-oriented like Spider-Man or other series. We are now launching a series called Dragonero that is in collaboration with Bonelli, a little bit more adult animated series that we usually produce. And that arrives until 5 p.m. more or less, 5, 6. Then we pass to live action, and live action that is both acquisitions like Find Me in Paris or this kind of, or Jamie Johnson series that come from Europe, and national productions that are going very well, in which we try to deal with contemporary school life, in which we speak about bullyism. We have had a series on sexual harassment towards girls, in which we try to speak of more edgy and difficult questions and issues with the language of drama and TV fiction. That is the best way for us to communicate in a way that seems not a preacher, moralistic speech, but can help boys and girls to feel as their characters on the screen. And we are investing more and more on that. We also are a little part of anime series, both acquired and also we have produced some series like recently Girls from Olympus that we will be shown also in the UK, and it is also a different way because we did not experience the anime in the past, but we feel that now we can. We need properties in which we can have both the free TV rights and the free VOD rights without limitations. The era in which we could have on the platform only 5 episodes it is past. Now we produce and we also buy for our two way, linear and non-linear at the same time. So that is the first thing. We have a few exceptions with Disney because of course they have Disney Plus. However, also with them we are having some agreements on our VOD, at least for streaming, and then for a limited VOD. But that is for the market side. We need properties, especially now animation from 7 years on, because it is more difficult and we consume them more. We can have preschool shows that go on, and sometimes it is even difficult to find the place in the schedule for the new shows when you have the old one that are going very well, while animation for kids is more complicated and it is consumed more rapidly. So that is where we are trying to invest more. We are now launching in the next weeks street football that is a great success in France, Foot de Rue, and it is a co-production since the beginning because it is based on a book by an Italian author, Stefano Benni, and other series that can reach that audiences. We are less strong in comedy for that target. We have now having with good success When I Was Your Age, that is another co-production with Zodiac and Monello, French, and an Italian company, Maga Animation, no, Movimenti production. And I think that comedy for 7 and 9 could be something that would be important for us, as well as, of course, live action. There are not so many live action series for kids and tweenies, and we are really interested in those because we see that kids love them. Regards productions and co-production, we have to keep a special eye on the Italian producers. So what we support most is co-productions, and historically co-production between Italian and British companies has not been so many. Recently we have a series that we are co-producing with an Italian company, an animation, and Eagle vs. Bat. It is the sound collector that is a very interesting and beautiful concept and property. And in this case, the producer got in touch with the Italian company, keeping in that case the global editorial control, but with an important part of the co-production also based in Italy. And then they came to us, and we are pre-buying the series because we move mostly with pre-acquisition agreements in that field. And I think that we have also pre-acquisition of completely non-Italian series when there is something extraordinary, a book that we love, a series on a special issue. But mostly we support co-productions, and we are now an Italian sector of animation that is of good quality, both in 3D than in 2D, and I think they're good partners. If not, we have acquisition policy. We have quite a number of European and also including British series. And in this case, we either receive a proposal directly to our head of acquisition, or we discover them in markets like finally in presence the next MIP Junior and the other events that will be arriving, or because we have been quite a couple of years in which we didn't met people in person, and it was not helpful, especially for the development of new concepts, because acquisitions of ready-made, you can send the material with a link. Creation of a new concept is something that needs a real exchange and also personal meetings. I think that we are there are possibility also of co-producing on the other side, because we are developing some interesting concepts that can be worked out together. We are now a series in which our protagonist is a live action, has dyslexia, and also, like we also have seen in the past, it's important to speak of this. But while probably and we are ready also to film series in English as a main international soundtrack and language. We did it with Penny on Mars, that has been a series that also traveled a lot and was filmed in Milan in co-production with us. So, but of course, it's animation, the field in which it is more easy to have collaboration at an international level. We invest some 25 million euro a year in European independent production. So that puts us in one of the first investors in animation and kids programming, and we hope that that could create also more collaboration among the national broadcasters and the national partners. It is more complicated for a producer rather than to sell the entire series to one platform. But then in the long run, I think it will be also more rewarding. Also, by the way, licensing and merchandising are still something that are based on free TV and national broadcasters.